Konami has been known for producing games that have been considered classics even till this day. From the NES era of gaming to today's next-gen consoles, they continue to create games of high-quality content. Usually nowadays, when people think of Konami, they usually think of Metal Gear Solid and Hideo Kojima. But back in the Nintendo 64 and PlayStation 1 era, Konami was developing a third-person action game that would be lost in the sea of cancelled Nintendo 64 games. And so in today's video, I'll be discussing the unreleased Survivor Day 1. Survivor Day 1 was officially announced at E3 1998. The game was best described as Konami's take on Tomb Raider. Unfortunately, not much is known of this game. But on October 26, 1998, IGN got an inside look at an early version of Survivor Day 1 and the game's details along with its game design, gameplay, and plot. This game was described as a unique third-person action adventure. It would put players in the role of a genetically engineered humanoid life form on board a spaceship that has crash-landed on an alien planet. The object of the game is basically to get out alive. Players must also find their female counterpart known as Eve, who has also become lost in the giant aircraft. Now, to make matters worse, the spaceship, acting as an immense intergalactic ark, is flooded with an abundance of different animal races, all struggling to stay alive. This begins the player's adventure of Survivor Day 1. The protagonist, which is known as Adam, is seen rocking a half wetsuit. This is very lucky for him, considering the fact that most of the ship was engulfed in water. Equally as fortunate is the player's ability to walk, run, hang, climb, jump, somersault, dive, shoot, and swim. Adam used an arm-mounted gun, which the player could fire a wide assortment of energy-based weapons at his foes. The in-game controls were a bit like Tomb Raider as well. A few people who experienced the game have said that the game did not react instantly and was very sluggish. IGN stated that the action wasn't limited to mindless alien blasting. There was plenty of good old-fashioned exploration to be held as well. The ship is made up of different biospheres, which had a variety of backdrops, ranging from rainforests and deserts to alpine mountains. Each area introduced unique characteristics and challenges to the player to utilize different abilities. For example, whereas some parts of the ship call upon a traditional shoot and run formula, others require a bit more strategy, forcing the players to climb vines or swim through tunnels and find the correct way to leave the area. It's not exactly brain surgery, but it does offer a refreshing change to what can otherwise quickly become repetitive. Additionally, Konami had developed an intricate AI system for the game. From what Konami had promised, the enemies would react very realistically, according to the context and to the player's moves. For example, enemies, after realizing that they have no chance of winning a gun battle, they'll run away or hide behind objects so that the player can't kill them. Now, for its time, this technology was actually very impressive. Enemies will actually situate themselves behind an object and wait for the player to chase after them. If the player were to rotate around the object they were hiding, the enemy would actually rotate with them in order to keep their distance. Running on a polygonal 3D engine, Survivor Day 1 sported a number of visual effects, such as real-time light sourcing and soft skinning for seamless and more realistic characters. Unfortunately, the game's frame rate, judging from the early version IGN reporters played, it still needed a lot of work. Additionally, the game had what they described as a muddy look to it, a Nintendo 64-like appearance that lacks texture, details, and makes it easy for players to lose themselves in the ship. Overall, they stated that the game's story and gameplay scenario were very intriguing, but Survivor Day 1 needed a lot of tuning if it planned to hold its own against the competition. While this may be so, I'm not sure why they expected so much from a tech demo that was only a few months along into development. Despite its visual effects, the as of yet unfinished title lacked smooth gameplay and controls that other third-party action shooters have mastered. Additionally, musical composer Mark Lindsay posted on YouTube on May 16, 2009 a concept video and original musical score he composed for Survivor Day 1 when he worked at Konami around 1997. In his video, he stated that all the demo music was generated inside the Nintendo 64 with a custom sample bank and only internal effects. Now, unfortunately, due to its copyright, I didn't want to jeopardize my video, so if you want to take a listen, I'll put the link in the description below. The reason for the game's cancellation stemmed from Konami not being happy with the product, but the company had no official statement to make regarding the cancellation of Survivor Day 1. Sources also told GameSpot News that the team working on the product has been let go, a statement which Konami denies. Konami had told GameStop that previous employees working on Survivor Day 1 had been placed in other projects. Now unfortunately, that is all that is known of Survivor Day 1. Thank you guys for watching. Check out some of my other videos if you have time. Thank you for supporting the channel too. I don't think I've said that enough. And here's some links to other interesting sites down in the description below, such as N64, which is a huge support. And yeah, I'll see you all next time.